Hi there again, it's Miss Brenda. So today I wanted to read a Curious George adventure. The title of the book is Curious George Visits a Toy Store. The author is Alan Shellick, and it's illustrated by H.A. Ray and Margaret Ray. This is George. He is a good little monkey and always very curious. Today was the opening of a brand new toy store. George and the man with the yellow hat did not want to be late. When they arrived, the line to go inside wound all the way around the corner. When a line is this long, it's not easy for a little monkey to be patient. George sneaked through the crowd. All he wanted was a peek inside. So here he is sneaking through the crowd. George got to the door just as the owner opened it. "This is no place for a monkey," she said. But George was so excited he was already inside. Balls, dolls, bicycles, and games filled the shelves. There was so many toys. George didn't even know how some of them worked. And how about these hoops? What did they do? George was curious. He climbed up to pull one out of the pile, but it would not move. George pulled harder. Still, it wouldn't move. George pulled with all fours. Uh-oh, what do you think is going to happen to George? Suddenly, there was a terrible crash. Red, blue, green, and yellow hoops bounced up and down and everywhere. "Look!" exclaimed a boy, bouncing up and down himself. "Why, I haven't seen one of these in years," said the boy's grandmother. She put on a hoop around her waist and gave it a spin. George tried the hula hoop too. But then George pretended it was a wheel. He rolled and rolled and oops! He rolled right into the owner. The owner shook her head. "I knew you were trouble," she said. "Now you've made a mess of my new store." Again, she tried to stop George. And again, George was too quick. In only a second, he was around the corner and on the highest shelf. Below him, George saw a little girl point to a toy out of reach. "Mommy, can we get that dinosaur?" she asked. George picked up the dinosaur and lowered it to the girl. She was delighted. So was the small boy next to her. "Could you get that ball for me, please?" he asked George. George reached up, grabbed the ball, and bounced it to the boy. "May I have that puppet over there?" asked another girl. How lucky that George was a monkey. He swung off the shelf, hung on to a light, picked up the puppet, and put it right into her hands. So what is Curious George doing? It seems like he's helping all these little kids reach all of the toys high up on the shelves, right? "What a show!" shouted a boy. The children held up their new toys and cheered. "What a commotion!" Immediately, the owner came running, and then came the man with the yellow hat. "I think we've had enough monkey business for one day," the owner frowned. So it seems like the owner of the toy shop is getting really upset with Curious George. Just then, a girl got in the long line to pay. "What a great store," she said. "What a great idea to have a little monkey helping you," her father told the owner. "I guess you're right," the owner replied and smiled. Then she gave George a special surprise. "Thank you, George," she said. "My grand opening is a success because of you. Perhaps monkey business is the best business after all." So what do you guys think the owner of the toy shop is gonna give Curious George? The end. So the toy store owner ended up giving Curious George a hat and apron like the one she wore when she opened up her toy store. So if we go back a page, we see her wearing the exact same one that she gives to Curious George. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. Bye, friends!